Warm greetings to everyone. The Operations Club of Great Lakes, OPUS, along with Warehouse Association of India, had recently organized IAI conference. In this video, we present to you our very esteemed panel member, Mohit Kapoor. Sir is the chairperson of Projects and Events Committee at Warehouse Association of India.
First of all, thanks to this organization to invite us for this second conference. I've been a part of this initiative since last year. And one thing I want you to, and through this interview to all the industry academy and all the stakeholders and whoever will see this interview, we should understand that the warehousing and logistics sector in itself is in a very nascent stage in India. It is still, I would say, it won't be too much if I say it's still taking baby steps. So whatever women have till date achieved in this sector, specifically in India, is commendable. It should be appreciated. Both ways in the sense, the efforts of the female workforce who have been given a chance, like you must have seen two of our panelists in diversity panel. They had done their initial studies. One of them had done her initial studies in MBA Marketing and Finance, Marketing and HR. The other one had done Chartered Accountancy. So they both could have moved on to any other organization, or rather I would say they both have done their education, post-graduation, considering some other stereotyped or some other conventional avenues and organizations or industries. They got a chance to either enter that trade after their graduation or escalate year long, and then they have excelled in those organizations. So it is the fact that women are gradually, obviously slowly, but slowly and gradually women are elevating themselves, and this industry, due to the efforts and initiatives taken by our current government of gender diversity, promotion of women, bringing women at managerial levels and bringing women at decision making level, this industry is actually accepting this wholeheartedly, and they are, as an industry stakeholder, I can assure you, they are taking very good steps in right perspective, in right manner and right intentions to change the scenario. And as I said, this industry in itself is progressing now. The national logistic policy has been launched just 3 years back. In these 3 years, there has been a drastic change in the way this industry is working in India, the way people from other sectors are coming into this sector, and how women are excelling actually.
Sir, one thing you mentioned here was women in leadership roles. So, according to the studies as of now, it is seen that women enter the workforce, not just in warehousing but in each and every sector. Women enter the workforce as a tier 3 managerial level employee. But then if we see the number of women in the leadership roles as compared with the number of men in the leadership role, the ratio declines. It vastly declines. Is there any particular reason for that? If yes, how do you think this can be changed in the coming years?
See, something which is going on for decades takes time to rectify, change and improve. But I'll again reiterate that everybody who hears this interview, or whoever be a student or industry people who get to check this interview, they must feel assured that the women not being in managerial roles or women not being in decision making or leadership role has been unfortunately the case in India only since certain decades and certain centuries, not certain generations. So I would like to clear that in India, as I have said in my panel discussion, in India, in our tradition, in our country's rich history, we have had women at highest level of leadership, highest level of decision making, and also highest level of being mentors and role model for the entire organization, whether it was a religious organization or spiritual organization or a kingdom or an army for that matter. The women have been in that role. It will take time because for the last few decades, women in India were not working very aggressively. They were mostly considered to be homemaker itself. I won't go into geopolitical history of that. It has been since the days we were almost annihilated on this land. when we had foreign invasion, due to their barbaric acts, the women were pushed from managerial roles or decision-making roles or leadership role, and they were confined to family, taking care of their family, being in secured home environment. This has been gradually changing for last 2-3 decades, and now women, you can see, who could have imagined Indra Nooyi, an Indian origin lady, leading a multinational corporation for such a long time? Currently, who is the chairman of SBI? It's a lady. It's a lady. The next city to this organization, your institute, the city where I belong to, last two CMs for two different political parties have been ladies. Though the outgoing government, they made a maid shift. This government, having coming into full power in Delhi, they have selected a female to lead the organization. So yes, things are moving ahead with gradual times. I see a very bright future. Everybody has understood and realized that females, or for that matter, both the genders, whoever is the right contender should get the right opportunity. And I assure you, the next year's edition of this, we'll see the results.
That's a great start, sir. It's good to know that there is something we, not just men, but women along with them, can look forward to in the future of warehousing and logistics.
I would like to say one thing. The day we stop this particular dialogue and discussion of gender specific, it should be capability specific.
Very true, sir.
It should be capability, but it's the other side of the coin is, once they will get the chances, then they will prove their expertise. But yes, the day will come when we have an equitable and justified configuration of females in leadership role. Whoever excel in their roles should be given their due positions.
Sir, since we are talking about capabilities and basically skill sets that are required, since warehousing is such a new concept and new industry for our country, what are the skills required for a person to excel in this field, and what are the steps taken by companies or the government or association like yours that they have incorporated in order to develop skills around this field?
So you might have noticed a few remarks by my fellow panelists in last session, and even in the session for skilling. There is no rocket science in this particular field. Anybody with a normal acumen, like once great General Ehsan Manekshaw said, you give me a person with decent acumen and common sense, and I'll make a gentleman out of that person. So don't consider this phrase gentleman to be gender biased. It is just a common phrase. Anybody with normal acumen, with a desire and zeal to elevate in their careers, can perform very well in this sector. The best part about this sector is, see, there are a lot of aspects in this sector. You need a finance person, you need a marketing person, you need an HR person, you need an operations person, you need a research person, you need security people, you need quality control people, you need researchers, you need workers from blue collar jobs to white collar jobs, you need people who have powers to negotiate, you need people who have the powers of taking decision, doing analytics. So the quantum of aspects or quantum of, you say, subjects in this topics in this particular field is that we can induct people from almost every source of their undergraduate and postgraduate studies. Now it's up to them to how to excel to it, how do they accommodate to it. And yes, under National Skill Development Mission, with Skill Development Council, with the DPIIT, that is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade under Ministry of Commerce, which is working with our organization, that is Warehousing Association of India, we are specifically designing, drafting and researching day by day on specific modules based on acumen of those people, as well as the soft skills and technical skills required for a particular job, and we are trying to make it in more gamified version with voiceovers, animations, app based, to cater to even diverse and uncommon, what do you say, a digital literacy level of people. So automation, digitalization, machine learning is helping us a lot in that. And even the companies and the promoters and the stakeholders have understood the value of having skilled labor when they induct them, and also upskilling their existing and age-old labor, because they understand a skilled or an upskilled labor will sustain in that industry, will assure profit margins, will assure least amount of wastages, wastage in terms of energy, wastage in terms of product, wastage in terms of people, and considering today's world, wastage in terms of anybody getting injured, physically damaged. So all those things are happening, and trust me, many companies of even smaller segment with smaller capital capacity, they are now inducting these AI based modules, app learnings, and skill sets focused on particular set of people's acumen, their digital literacy, and how much they want to learn for a particular job.
Sir, on the scale of 1 to 10, how important is digital literacy and good knowledge about AI ML in the world of warehousing and logistics at the moment?
It all depends upon at what level that particular person or that particular group of person or that company or that department of particular company is working on. Yes, digitalization, machine learning, automation is required at every step, but their level of requirement or dependence on these tools varies. The best part is our generation has seen, the generation from which I belong, we have seen the transition from black and white television to smart televisions. Your generation or the younger ones have already seen it growing. So now the next generation that is coming, everybody with a smartphone. India is not just the highest manufacturer of smartphone, India is the largest user of smartphone as well. Any person you consider a rickshaw puller or a vegetable vendor, if they are accepting money on their smartphones, if they are doing transaction using UPI, so digital literacy in last 7 years of Modi government's initiatives have done leaps and bounds. India is now, I consider, if we consider about percentage of population and actual education background of people and some perception about our education level, we are most advanced stage of digital literacy right now. The level could be up and down. I believe a person who's a rickshaw puller, if that rickshaw puller can accept 10 rupees and pay 5 rupees for a cigarette or a small roadside snack using barcode and UPI, they are digital literate. And trust me, our Indian minds are most accurate in terms of adapting things, learning new things, though we generally learn negative things fast, but we are learning digital literacy very fast. It has a very vital role to excel in the field of international level matching for warehousing and logistics, and Indians are now learning day by day, and this Digital India movement has actually helped everybody to increase their basic level of digital literacy, which is helping them to upskill them, learn their work, and future is bright. I can say underline is future is very bright for this particular industry and Indian industry as a whole.
Sir, along with AI, another industry that has been booming is EV.
Okay.
Which is very much in talks right now in our country and a lot of other countries as well. How do you see EV transforming the industry of warehousing, supply chain especially?
See, definitely when certain organizations or the leaders in certain organizations who are driving those organizations, they have taken a pledge as an individual or as a company for achieving their net zero targets, reducing carbon emissions. They are now trying their level best to include machines or equipments that are battery operated within their premises. Most of the high-end organizations have started using their forklifts which are battery operated. Though there are certain roadblocks in this, there are certain organizations or certain work areas where batteries cannot be charged or batteries cannot be used. Those are some typical cases. And battery operated delivery vehicles have also been used, but I am personally not very pleased about the current scenario of EV in India until and unless the energy used to charge our batteries become green. I am founder member of India Korea Green Hydrogen Forum. So I know till our electric vehicles are charged with fossil fuel energy, we are not achieving any targets. But yes, our government and our Honorable Prime Minister has given a pledge of achieving net zero target by 2070, which may be achieved, or most of it may be achieved by 2047 in our 100th year of independence. So we are moving in the right direction. And apart from EV, let us use this term of green energy run vehicles and machinery, because in upcoming days hydrogen and other renewable energy sources will also be used in vehicles and machinery, which may eliminate this use of non-availability of lithium in India for lithium run batteries, or dependence on China for lithium batteries, because there is a thought process that on its whole mining of lithium and use of lithium in battery is also not very sustainable.
Exactly.
It has their own medical and environmental hazards. So yes, we are moving in the right pace. Then India, though becoming a Viksit nation, it still has certain financial constraints. And moving 100% on EV, the capital expenditure is too much. So until that particular industry brings the capital expenditure down and there are more sources of renewable energy to charge those batteries, it is the time when actual benefits, actual ethical benefits of turning on to EV will be enforced.
So clearly we have a bright future.
Definitely.
And a lot of research opportunities that this industry completely gives us, not just the warehousing and logistics part, but as you mentioned, also the green energy part as well. A lot of research and a lot of scope is there in this industry. Sir, one last question I have is, how is geopolitical tensions and geopolitical situations of India along with all the other nations impacting the number of women in the warehousing and logistics department, if at all it affects?
See, India by far is still one of the safest countries on this planet, considering our old traditional ways and the way our communities are knitted together. Except barring few cases in few regions because of certain geopolitical or some other reasons, India is by far the most economical, sustainable and safer place on this land. And yes, these geopolitical situations are or may be acting as a blessing in disguise for India, with certain trade routes getting disturbed, with certain countries getting disturbed due to their internal reasons or their conflicts with others. So the entire world is right now looking for India to be its industrial hub. And not just industrial hub, being a part of this industry, I am proud to share, in future there will be a scenario, there is going to be a scenario rather, where industries who are settled abroad, if not 100% moving on their production into India. I can give you my example. The company from where I work for my living, that was used to be a joint venture between an Italian and a Taiwanese conglomerate. They made a 50-50, that conglomerate made a 50-50 JV with the company with whom I am working in India. And now slowly and gradually, initially we used to import the products from them. Now we are 100% manufacturing all the products to be used in India. And slowly and gradually, their Italy-based factory, their Taiwan and China-based factory are planning to move their productions in those countries to our Indian factory to use this as an industrial hub. Apart from one thing very relevant for our industry of logistics and warehousing is, there are serious talks and works have started, whereas companies and corporations having industrial setup in some other countries, if they are not able to transfer it totally over here, they are doing it slowly, gradually, but they want to use India as a storage and logistic hub. So hypothetically consider a company having their factory in Middle East, or their factory in Europe, or their factory in Southeast Asia, and their clients worldwide. They will use India as their logistic hub, facilitation centers, their inventory management centers. They'll store the goods in India and it will be redistributed to the entire world from India, because they still consider India to have much peacer environment, better geopolitical relation with most of the advanced countries in the world. You can take an example. India is the only country, or our Prime Minister is the only person who can discuss with candid environment with Putin, Zelensky, Trump, all of them. Who else on this world can talk to these three gentlemen and settle their internal issues? So India in the future will be not just due to Industry 4.0 and Make in India initiative. India will not only be the industrial and manufacturing hub, India will rather be first a logistic and distribution hub for those who have their manufacturing facilities in A country and their distribution and their clientage in B, C, D, E countries.
Got it. So just out of curiosity, I have an extension to this question.
Sure, please.
So BRI agreement that China has been working on for such a long time now. As we are talking about India being the logistics hub and the warehousing hub for the nation. So how is BRI, like, as of now, India is not sure, India has not accepted the BRI agreement or like not been a part of BRI agreement 100%. How is that going to impact if India becomes a part of the BRI agreement? How is that going to impact?
See, through your platform, I want to assure everybody, because I am assured myself, current Indian establishment, current Indian bureaucracy and current Indian political leadership will never ever accept any international pressure to enter into any agreement which impacts India's current and future goals and benefits. So either India will not join this initiative or India will make sure that this initiative's core is revised, edited or adjusted to take care of India. Giving you a very candid reply, there has never been and there will never be any example in this world where a host nation travels to a third country to play its cricket match with India. And since India is now in the final is happening out of the host nation. So if this is happening on a lighter note on a cricket field, which is not a local thing right now, cricket itself is a world power right now. Considering the finance including involved in it, considering the number of people and technical teams and finance and revenue generation including, India made sure that either they will not participate or they will participate on the terms that are not just beneficial to India but equitable, justified and reliable. India could have said that we will play only in India, but Indian government or Indian associations didn't say that. So they said that we will not move to Pakistan for obvious reasons. We will move to a third country, but we will play our all matches over there, whether we are knocked out of the tournament in the first match or we play the finals. Similar will happen in every trade. Consider it. We assured current political leadership will never go down to any pressures. We will enter any agreement only when it is beneficial to our country current scenario as well as next 10, 20, 30 years.
Thank you so much, sir.
My
it
pleasure.
was great talking to
My
you.
pleasure. My
and
pleasure.
a lot of insights have been received, not just by us but also our viewers. I hope. Thank you for your time, and we would love to have you for the next edition of this.
It will be my pleasure to be a part of such initiatives and other more initiatives, because I firmly believe I have seen people who are returning back to India. This is the place to be, whether or not what is the AQI over here or what is the traffic congestion over here. This is a place to work, to manufacture, to do your business and raise your families.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.